Seattle and Los Angeles, Philadelphia and Detroit. Aaron, out of those four teams, who do you think needs the win the most for playoff seeding when it comes down to it?
As crazy as this may sound, I'm going to go with the Eagles. Listen, I don't. That game last night, the Eagles have become the San Antonio Spurs of the early 2000s. They are the worst football team to watch. It is so boring. It is nothing exciting offensively. They don't do anything spectacular. They are the San Antonio Spurs of 2000, but they always find a way to win. Their defense is playing great. Their offense is playing like crap. When their offense is playing great, their defense is playing like crap, but they always find a way to win football games. And that's a testament to their ability to win and them being comfortable in any type of game, any situation. But there's something about that team that is just ugly to watch. It is not exciting. They don't do anything great. And this is not last year's Philadelphia Eagles team. And I think they're in a situation where they're behind the Detroit Lions, the Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks to me. And I think they need to go out and prove why they don't belong behind them. It's just something that's not clicking with them. So I don't know if it's the AJ Brown thing. It just doesn't look right. Even though they keep winning, it just doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. Something stinks. And it reminds me of a couple of years ago when they were winning games, but it didn't look good. And then down the stretch, it really hit them.
So I kind of know the answer to this, and I'm still gonna ask it anyways. What is the Eagles won the Super Bowl? They are the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
What's the difference between them and when we see like a team like the Chiefs go out there
Stability.
and have and
Easy question.
is
Stability. Leadership.
where's that from though? Because I mean, Nick Sirianni's been doing this.
It starts at head coach. No, you can't say Nick Sirianni's been doing it since. Where do you ever hear the turmoil in Kansas City?
Fair.
Every week it's something different in Philly. Every week
I'm
it's something different in Philly. AJ Brown's mad. Nick Sirianni's yelling at fans in the stand. It's always since he's been there. It's been something. Now I'm not saying they haven't won in spite of that. I'm saying that there is a level of insecurity or a level of not being stabilized as an organization that they don't have that a team like Kansas City does have. And it doesn't mean that Kansas City is a better football team. It doesn't mean that they can't be beat by the Philadelphia Eagles. It just means there's a level of I don't want it's like just a bomb waiting to explode. That's what I feel like. I think there's so much built up animosity in Philadelphia's building that eventually, whether that's when AJ Brown finally leaves in the offseason or whatever, it just blows up. And you don't want that in your building when you have other things to focus on, especially when you're trying to go into the postseason.
But didn't they do that last year? Didn't we have this AJ Brown saga last year? Didn't it start last year with like the book and reading it on the sideline and stuff, and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl? Like I feel like this is very. I'm like obviously I don't. But think
last year, remember 2,000-yard Saquon Barkley too. This year, there's no 2,000-yard Saquon Barkley. Like they're not running the ball well. They're not throwing it well. They're not like what? Let me ask you this. Let me rephrase your question into a question. What are the Philadelphia Eagles doing exceptionally well other than finding a way to win the game?
That's it. That's all I have. I have I mean, but that's the thing. I think that. But my thing is, and you, I see your point when you bring up stability with like Andy Reid versus Nick Sirianni and the culture and the problems that are happening in Philadelphia. But at the end of the day, like on paper, you look at the Chiefs of last year, and we were okay. And I know the Lord and Savior Patrick Mahomes, we were okay giving the pass to the Chiefs. We're always okay giving the pass to the Chiefs when it comes to their struggles, their early season struggles. I mean, shit, look at right now. They're not even in a playoff spot, and they still have the best odds to win the Super Bowl. Like they're not even in a playoff spot, and we're still.
There's a reason why.
I know that. I know that reason. I get it. Like, but the Eagles, they've been in the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl last year. They've been in the NFC Championship. They've been there. They've done that. They've like. It's just kind of crazy to me to think like, okay, we're not giving the Eagles the pass. We give the Chiefs the pass. And Jermaine in the chat brings up the fact that the offensive coordinator is a big disappointment for the Eagles. That's a big loss. The loss of Kellen Moore is huge. But to his point, they did beat the Rams. Why are they behind the Rams in your hierarchy of the NFC?
The same reason why the Buffalo
Man, this time you're
The
actually frozen. Hold on.
I know,
Restart.
I know. I'm back. The Eagles of last year are a better football team than the Eagles of this year. I'm not saying that the Eagles can't go on a run here. You asked me, the original question was, who needs this more? I think the Eagles need it more to find an identity of their football team. We knew what they were last year. They were going to lean on Saquon Barkley. He was going to have explosive runs, and they were going to lean, and that was their identity. This year, he hasn't been the same. Their offensive coordinator, I don't know what he's doing. They're like, some games they want to just drop back and they want to throw it all over the field. And then other games they want to look like they're scared to even throw the ball. I don't think they have an identity this year. And when you don't have an identity as a football team, or specifically as an offense, you put yourself in situations where there's more flux. And what happens is you might get away with these wins against the Rams, against the Packers in the regular season. But come the postseason, when it's really pressure is on you and you really have to go lean on something, can you do it? And we have not seen Philly be able to lean on anything yet this year. They've been able to find ways to win, and I give them all the credit in the world for that. Also, and we've discussed this. I don't care how many Super Bowls Philadelphia wins. Nick Sirianni is not a good head coach to me. And I've said this a number of times. I feel like he is a little kid playing fantasy football or playing coach. He acts childish. He's an immature man to me, and I don't like 4th and 6 yesterday. What? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're an analytics guy or not. What was the purpose of going for it on 4th and 6 and throwing a ball to AJ Brown deep? To make him happy? Because that's what I felt like it was for. Like, oh, let's give AJ a chance before we get out of here, to just keep him for another week on without him exploding. When ideally you punt that ball, I don't care if it goes through the back of the end zone. You take off 8 more seconds. Now you have 18 seconds left, and Green Bay has no timeouts to get into field goal range. Like the things he does as a head coach, I perplex me. He's immature. He's childish, and I think that is a lot of where that discomfort comes from. Maybe from on my end, and not really trusting them. I trust Jalen Hurts. I think he's a winner. I love Saquon. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, one of the best 1-2 punch combinations you can have. One of the best O-lines, an amazing defensive line that just added Jalen Phillips. Quinyon Mitchell's one of the best corners in football. Why does it look like that on the football field every week? They also beat the Rams. They also lost to the Giants. Like, let's not forget the games that they didn't play well, right? Like we can bring up the games they beat the Rams and stuff. Every team has their good and bad days. Philadelphia has been consistently ugly to watch. And I'm strictly speaking on what it's been to look like, or what it's looked like to me watching them. I still think they're one of the best teams in the NFC. And I still think that in the postseason, they're not some easy out. I just want to see them go beat a team like Detroit in the situation and have a convincing win. Show me why you're still that team. Kansas City did it this year. Kansas City went and dominated Detroit, and that showed me, like, that's the Kansas City team that I know I can get in the playoffs. I haven't seen one Philly game like that. Not one. And I know they've had good games, but where I'm like, that's the Philly team that I'm scared of.
33-26 against the Rams at home. And they needed a comeback in that one. They scored 12 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they were down. They were getting blown out at one point in time.
And really, it came down to a lot of, I wouldn't say luck plays, because it takes skill and talent to do all these plays. But I mean, you had the 2 blocked field goals. There was a lot of things that happened in that Rams game to say, okay, maybe I'm not fully sold on the Philadelphia Eagles yet. Again, 2 massive matchups